So which side to work on here? Well, the left side is definitely more complicated. However, the right side's got a double angle. So where do we start? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep in mind the following. I'm going to keep in mind that the tangent of twice an angle is equal to 2 times the tangent of that angle over 1 minus the tangent squared of the angle. Now, what I could do is I could try to take this guy and make it look like this on the left. But what's going to probably be easier is to take this on the left and make it look like this guy and then use this substitution. So basically, I'm not really cheating, but kind of. I know what I want, so I'm just going to go one more step and see what it's equal to, and then I'm going to try to make this side look like this. Okay, so we'll go like this. Over here, I've got fractions going on, so I need a common denominator. So this guy over here, so this is going to get long and messy. So this is the cosine of theta. I'm going to stop writing the parentheses, even though I'm not really a big fan of that. See, I said I was going to stop, and then I went to put one in there. Okay. Okay, so what I've done is I've got my common denominator. Now what I'm going to have here, I'm going to actually write this like so. Okay. So they're both over the same denominator. That denominator is cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta, so that's what I get when I multiply these bottoms together. And then the tops, when I multiply them together, I get these two guys. So let's see. It would be nice if this was a plus, because then there would be 1 on the bottom. I wouldn't have to deal with anything. This guy over here, we might want to do some foiling here, I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and foil out the tops. If you don't have to do it, then don't do it. But be really careful. Here's what you can't do. I see students do this all the time, where they try to take this like 2 here, and they try to drop it into each of these guys, and that doesn't work. Okay, because you're missing your inner terms, so you're not really foiling. So be careful. So let's go ahead and FOIL this guy out. This is cosine squared theta plus 2 cosine theta sine theta plus sine squared theta. That just comes from FOILing this out. So if you need to, go ahead and do the steps for that. Minus, so that's the first guy up top. Minus the second guy is going to be cosine theta squared minus 2 sine theta cosine theta plus sine squared theta. And that is all over cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to distribute this negative in. So plus a negative, positive, negative, like that. So see if anything cancels. We'll have a positive cosine squared and a negative cosine squared. So those guys are gone. I've got a sine squared and a negative sine squared. So those guys are gone. So all I'm left with is 2 and 2. So 4 cosine theta sine theta over cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta, like that. Excuse me. Now, look, what we're trying to get is we're trying to get tangent here. So I'm probably going to have to do some division. So to get tangent here, I'm going to divide, well, let's just look at this piece right here. This guy, if you look up top, this guy wants to be a 1, this guy wants to be a tangent. Okay, well, tangent squared. Okay, so I'm getting that off of this. So what would I divide by? Well, I'm going to divide by cosine squared on the bottom. But if I do it on the bottom, I got to do it on the top as well. So it's going to look like this. It's going to be 4 cosine theta sine theta over cosine squared theta. And then this is going to be cosine squared theta over cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta over cosine squared theta. So these guys right here are going to cancel out to be 1, which is what we had talked about before. So on the top, I'm going to have 4 I'm going to have 4 times, one of these will cancel with one of these guys, so I'm going to go like this, one of these with one of these, so I'm going to end up with 4 tangent on the top. On the bottom, I'm going to end up with 1 minus tangent squared theta. So if I factor out a 2, I would have this. And this guy right here is equal to the double tangent. So this is 2 times that double tangent. And that's your solution.